All right. So yesterday we kick off with Agile, and well, we started talking about the frameworks, the popular frameworks in Agile, and today we're gonna continue from there. Today I will do just 30 minutes, so I will just get through with maybe one or two, three slides, and then Monday and then give you guys some time, some 30 minutes. I'm going to give you guys back some 30 minutes to finish up your assignments and other things, and then turn these assignments in. So today's going to be a short one. It's going to be a short session, and then you guys can go ahead and work on your stuff and turn them in. Right. All right. So yesterday we ended here with a calendar. Let me see the chat box. Yes. If you guys are with me so far, yesterday this is where we ended, and then today, I believe so. I believe yesterday we ended here. Yes. Okay. All right. Good. Okay. All right. Great. So yesterday we ended here. Today, let's start off with Agile Ceremonies, right? So in every methodology, there are certain things, practices, and rituals that we need to know, right? Right. There are some rituals that, some standards and practices that we need to adhere to. So we will talk through some of these ceremonies, and hopefully, you guys will get a grasp on what these ceremonies and who should participate and whatnot. So I have daily stand-up meeting. So in Agile, we have something we call daily stand-up meeting, or popularly, you will hear something like Scrum meeting, right? Scrum meeting. But daily stand-up meeting is the keyword or the right type of meeting. So daily stand-up meeting, and sometimes I'll be quizzing you guys. Sometime next week we're gonna have a pop quiz, and this time around I'm gonna be mentioning names. So when I call your name, I say, "Tell me this, tell me that." Right? All right. So daily stand-up meeting, we have product user story grooming. It's also another type of meeting, a ceremony that we observe. We have retro meetings or retrospective meeting, right? This is also another meeting in Agile. We have sprint planning and sprint kickoff meeting. This is also another ceremony that we observe in Agile practice as well. And then we have storytelling and estimation meeting. Storytelling and estimation meeting. So this is another one. And then we have sprint review meeting. And then lastly, we have sprint demo meeting. So in Agile, you guys are going to come across some of these meetings. You'll see on your Outlook, Microsoft Outlook calendar at work. They will schedule some of these meetings. They invite you. You need to accept some of this meeting because you need to participate, right? You got to be on these calls. You got to be on these meetings to, participate in, product grooming sessions and refinement session and, retrospective meetings. It's all fun. It's all exciting. Like yesterday, when I kick off with Agile, I talk about it. So Agile is all about continuous planning, continuous release of product feature sets, improvement and whatnot, right? So daily stand-up meeting. Let's start with daily stand-up meeting. In Agile Scrum, right? Sometimes even in Kanban practice. So let me also say this out here so that you guys get it. So whether we as a team or a company, we've adopted Scrum or we've adopted Kanban as our go-to framework, some of these ceremonies are going to be regular, right? They're going to be normal to us. We're still going to observe these ceremonies anyhow, right? So keep that in mind, that it doesn't matter. It really does not matter here, regardless whether we're on a Scrum, whether it's a Kanban team, these ceremonies here, it does not matter. We're still going to have or observe some of these ceremonies out here. Now, let me also point it out there here that it is not every team that you're going to be working with that they'll be doing all of these ceremonies, right? Like yesterday, I mentioned and I used Eben as an example. That Eben, I think he started his project last 2 weeks, and then Kofi also started a project. He's in Ghana. They're all in Ghana because last week or something. And his team is brand new to Agile, and he joining the team as a product owner, he's supposed to bring all the standards and teach the team how to do, agile. So some of this is I'm going to be saying here, as like yesterday, I think yesterday I mentioned it. It's going to be Bible. Write it down, please. Right? Take note, so that when you start, having meetings and the team, will rely on you to present to them agile practices and some of the best practices. You show them. You will know exactly what you're going to be telling them, and it's not going to be stories, right? So please, I'm going to say that one more time. Take some notes, right? Take some notes with you, because this is going to be critical. This is going to be critical. So let's start off with daily stand-up meeting. Daily stand-up meeting. What type of meeting is this, right? What type of meeting is this? So daily stand-up meeting, every day, the team members, right? Team members, I mean, there's somebody that's going to wear the hat of a product owner, somebody that's going to be a scrum master or a project manager. We're going to have developers. We're going to have business analysts. We're going to have QAs, or quality assurance engineers or testers, right? QA testers. Some of these folks, and any other. Sometimes stakeholders can even pass through some of these calls and join you guys and see what's going on. So every day, team members, right? Especially core development team, developers, QAs, product owner, project manager, and so on and so forth. Every day in the morning, typically people do it like 9:30 a.m., sometimes to 9 a.m. And this meeting, it is not supposed to last beyond 15 minutes, guys. Keep it in mind. This meeting is not, supposed to last beyond 15 minutes. Sometimes they will schedule this meeting, they will just use, 30 minutes, right? So they'll have a 30 minutes block on your calendar. So now from 9 a.m. To 9:30, this is the time for Scrum or for daily stand-up meeting, right? Some teams call it. I've been consulting for a lot of organizations, so some teams call it, daily hurdle. So that you guys get together on the daily hurdle. Daily hurdle, same thing. That's what they're trying to mean. Whether it is Scrum meeting or daily stand-up meeting, it's all serving the same purpose, right? All right. So daily stand-up meeting every day of the week, from Monday all the way to Friday, right? 9 a.m. There's going to be a specific time that they will set. It doesn't matter. It could be 11 a.m. It could be 10 a.m. But typically, from what I've seen in places that I've been and worked with, consulted for, usually Scrum meetings or daily stand-up meetings were being held at 9 a.m., right? So 9 to 9:30 a.m. Team members, if it was on site, but luckily now everything is all remote. We're all working from online, right? Remote. But when back in the days, we will gather at one spot. So one spot, maybe by the elevator, maybe some office somewhere, some close somewhere. Team members will get over there. And then what do we do when we get on this meeting? We go around the table, right? We go around the table and then we ask everybody, especially the development team, developers and QA. This meeting specifically, typically is for developers and QA. We go around the table, we ask them, John, what did you do yesterday? So typically when they are giving a status like this on the daily stand-up meeting, it's about three things: what you did yesterday, what you did, what you're going to be focusing on today, and are there any blockers? Are there any issues of concern that we need to know so we can resolve it for you, right? See, Agile is very swift, it's very fast, very quick. We don't want delays. So if you're having issues, it is better for us to know so we can address these issues. If we need to escalate it to somebody higher than us so that they can get a result for you, we need to do that, because guys, guess what? Yesterday we talked about it. We have 14 days release cycle, so we don't have time, right? If something is being delayed on your side, on your plate, and you think you're a developer, you're getting something done, and you need to resolve something, issue, you have 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours of block time, it's going to impact on our delivery, right? So it's very important. It's very, very, very important. It's critical, imperative that we resolve it for you in a timely fashion, right? So if you have any issue, any blockers, you got to say it. You got to let us know. So on this call, usually it's going to be chaired, or it's going to be led by a Scrum Master, right? So the Scrum Master will go around the table. John, Dave, Jessica, whoever, right? You go around the table. and then everybody will give you an update. Oh, yesterday I worked on this one. Today I'm going to focus on this one, and I do not have any issues, or I don't have any blockers. So this is what you're going to be hearing typically, right? So as they go around the table on daily startup meeting, everybody will give you an update. Yesterday, this is what I work on. I started testing this issue. Yes. Today I'm going to focus on, Jira ticket number maybe 7740. This issue. This is what I'm going to be testing today, and I don't have any blockers, right? And then we move on to the next person. Okay. All right. Tell us about what you did. Okay, what's going on with you? Then they mention the name, and then say, oh, yesterday, I started working on this. Today, I'll keep working on that, and I do not have any blockers. And then the last person, Mary, what are you working on? Oh, yeah, yesterday I started working on this issue. Today I'm going to focus on this, but I have this issue, right? Mary will say, I have this issue. There's a what kind of issue, right? Now, sometimes if the issue that Mary is going to talk about is going to take almost about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes for Mary to, elaborate on this so that we can all digest on this issue, we will sometimes say, okay, let's take this issue in the parking lot, right? When we say parking lot, or let's take this issue later, that means we do not want to waste time and, you tell us all the story and the issue that you're talking about. So why don't we go around the table quick, and then whilst we have some more time, we can discuss your issue so that the other attendees on the call, other attendees on the meeting, we do not want to, hold them, captives, right? We do not want to take them hostage while this issue does not concern them. They can go, they are free to go and start working on their stories and their issues that they have to work on. Remember, we have 14 days and the clock is ticking. We have a countdown going on, right? So if you have any issue that you think is going to prolong, we need to talk about this extensively, then we got to take this as a parking lot item, right? So, as you're giving an update, you can talk about, yes, I focused on this yesterday. Today, I'm going to focus on this one and have a parking lot item or have a parking lot issue, right? Then we know that, okay, we just go around the table. Once we are done going around the table, then we'll come back to the parking lot items, so that other people or other meeting attendees that this issue does not concern them, they don't have to endure all this pain and analysis that they're going to be talking about, right? They are free to go. We don't want to hold them hostage, right? That is the point, guys. So whilst we go around the table, it's really quick. It's just like that. Snap, quick. This is what I work on. This is what I'm going to do today. And I don't have any blockers. Then the next person, this is what I did yesterday. This is what I'm focusing on. I don't have any blockers. And the next person. So that is daily stand-up meeting, guys. That is, wow, it's already 19 minutes. Now I'm just talking about just one. That is daily stand-up meetings. This is interesting. Okay, all right. So daily stand-up meeting, team members get on the call. It could be a Zoom call. It's going to be Microsoft Teams call. Whatever the technology that they're going to be using, everybody will join the meeting, just like you guys are on this call right now, this moment, right? As you guys on this call, it could be our daily stand-up meeting. So I just go around the table, right? I'll just go around the table and say, Ben, give me your status. Chris, give me your status. Emmanuel, give me your status. Francis, give me your status. Isaac, give me your status. Kojo, give me your status. So I just go around the table just like that, and everybody will give me their status, and that's it. So it is sort of like a status, meeting, but there's a format to it, right? You cannot just talk about, nonsense, right? There's a format. This is what you work on. This is going to be working on today, and I don't have blockers. That's all we need to know. We don't need to hear any story. If you have any additional stories to tell us, it's going to go into a parking lot item. And I want to see in the chat box, parking lot. I want to see parking. So I know you guys are following. You guys are listening. So let me see in the parking lot, in the chat box right now, parking lot, so that I know you guys get it, right? Parking lot. Let me see in the chat box right now, parking lot. All right. So if you have any stories to tell us, Kokwenance's story, about whatever you're working on and it didn't work yesterday and whatever, parking lot item, right? It's going to be a parking lot item. We all of us, we have a lot of things to do. We don't have to endure this pain and all your analysis and we talk about all these things, right? So parking lot, that is the key thing here, parking lot. So we take it in the parking lot and then we keep going. All right, let me move on to the next one. I think maybe the next 10 minutes I can maybe do justice to, let me take let me take, story grooming. Okay, let me take, story grooming. So the next ceremony here, guys, take note, is going to be product story, user story grooming. This is also known as refinement meeting, right? This is also known as refinement meeting. Now, what do we do when this meeting is on your calendar and you get on this call, right? Typically, when refinement meeting or grooming sessions, we're just talking about the product features that we have written, and we want to groom them. That means we want to bring these stories to a state or a status where now developers can now, they can point it, they can estimate it, and hopefully when we prioritize this story, they can now work on these stories as well. So typically, you as a product owner or a business analyst, you will be handed with requirements, right? This is what the business they want to do. They want to build this product feature sets, right? You have an idea of the product vision, the roadmap, blah, 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 all those type of things, right? As a BA or as a product owner, you have a couple of responsibilities. One, you build the product backlog, right? And I'm gonna talk about that, real quick. You build a product backlog. Number two, you also maintain the product backlog. And then number three, you also refine the product backlog. So what are the items in this backlog? There's all product feature sets, stories, requirements, things that we want to build, right? These are the items that are all being packed in the product backlog. Now, when your product manager, stakeholders give you the requirement, just like we did, right, with this embedded lending project, I give you all these guys. I'm going to need a provider portal. I'm going to need a lender portal. I'm going to need a servicer portal. I tell you guys all these things that I need from you, right, that we want to build. Now, you will now translate all these requirements and put them in the backlog in Apex and user stories. But at the grooming session, we have some audience, some tech leads, development lead. We have other people like, solution architect, and other people that can join these grooming sessions. And pretty much you talk about or you narrate this feature sets to them, right? We talk about this. And essentially, we're doing a couple of things here. Number one, we're trying to establish the fact that these product feature sets that are in the pipeline that are coming, our current state of infrastructure and our current state of architecture will be able to support these product feature sets. Guys, I know I said that very fast. Let me repeat that one more time, right? Okay. All that we're trying to establish whilst we are on this call, right? Grooming. You talk about this. Yeah, we want the servicer portal. Servicer portal will do blah, 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 A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You talk about all these things. They are all great. But we want to be able to establish that the fact that, number one, our current state of infrastructure and our current state of architecture will be able to support what this product features that you are talking about, right? So that's number one. Once we establish that, also on these stories, we also want to be able to establish a couple of things. All uncertainties, things that we don't know about this story. We want to be able to dive or dig down into this story or this product feature set or requirement and then get some clarity here or elaborate this, feature. Servicer portal, what exactly do you want, right? So I tell you guys, servicer portal, we want to be able to have this report, have your NFR, need further review, all those to elaborate further, right? Everything that needs to be known and then be taken care of on the servicer portal, I got to talk about it here or whatever that I've put up in the product backlog, right? So all unknowns, all uncertainties, all assumptions, all risks, this is the time. This is the moment that we got to flesh out these stories, right? We got to be able to understand this. It is not when now we hand it over to the developers, that is the time that, we're going to be now be asking questions about dependencies and assumptions and risks and no. That's not time for that, right? We don't have to advance. And then whilst we are at point B, we are now want to retrogress and come back and ask, silly questions that we're supposed to have done at the grooming sessions, right? We don't want to waste anybody's time. So that is why we have grooming sessions. So grooming, right? We want to train, groom, and make sure the stories are straight. Everything looks good before we move this story to the next level, right? So grooming sessions, like I said, one, we want to be able to establish the fact that our current state of architecture our current state of infrastructure, will they be able to support these stories that are coming up in the pipeline, right? And again, all uncertainties, all unknowns, all risks, assumptions, all those type of things, prerequisites, things that we need to have for us to be able to successfully execute and implement this feature set, we need to have them also in place, guys. This is very, very important. Now, when all of these things that I've said, when it's done properly, right? When it's done properly and it's done very well, we will be able as a team to now, achieve a certain level of accuracy when it comes to story pointing and estimation. Because guys, the next step from this point, when stories are groomed, the next step is that we will take this story to the development team, to keywords, to everybody, and now we now estimate. So once the stories are now fleshed out properly, all the risks and all those things, assumptions and all the unknowns, uncertainties, all those things, we now know whatever that we're doing with this feature. Now we take it to them. Now they have a better view because we have all the details in there. We're not going to miss out on anything, right? And so now the team can look at the story and they can say that, for instance, this story or this feature is going to be a 3-point story. Why? Because they know everything that's you're supposed to do with this story. And so when they say 3-point story, they know that exactly this story or this feature is going to take 3 days for them to develop this or for them to finish with this story, right? So when grooming sessions or refinement meetings are done properly, team, we will be able to achieve a certain level of accuracy when it comes to story pointing and estimation. All right. So I know my clock is ticking. And so today we'll be ending here daily stand-up meeting, product user story grooming, and refinement meeting. I have 3 minutes, so go ahead. I'm going to allow you guys to unmute yourself within these 3 minutes. I have only 3 minutes to spare, and I got to go on to some other stuff that I really got to take care of, right? So go ahead, unmute yourself. Questions on this, the daily stand-up meeting, and then the refinement or grooming session, and then let's go. All right, guys.
Okay. Nana,
yes, sir.
Good evening, Robert here. I wanted to find out you mentioned the daily stand-up meeting.
Good evening.
You mentioned the daily stand-up meetings.
Go ahead, Robert.
Okay. Yeah, you mentioned the daily stand-up meetings are often about 15 minutes each daily. How in your experience, how often does the product user story grooming and refinement take place, and how quick does it go?
Yeah. So refinement meeting typically it will be an hour. They will schedule at least a minimum of an hour. If we do less, and then we're able to finish on time, the person will just say, or the person who is going to be leading that meeting will just say, "I'm giving back your time," and then that's it. We end it.
Okay. All right. And how often, from your experience?
Oh, refinement meetings, the idea is to be able to, finish up and groom stories as much as possible every week. So sometimes maybe once every week, you're going to have a refinement meeting. Sometimes every 2 weeks, you're going to have a refinement meeting. So they'll come with a bulk pack of stories, and then we take care of it within an hour or maybe an hour and a half, whatever time that they will specify in the meeting. We'll go ahead and do that, right?
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yes, guys.
You also mentioned the as part of the core features of Agile that collaboration with team members over.
I went off, but does this follow sequentially?
Yes, so I'm getting 2 questions here, and I'll answer these 2, and then I think I'll call it down for the day. All right. So I'm hearing, I think it is going to be from Ampim Daku, right? So you're talking about whether these ceremonies there's a certain order that it has to follow. Not really, but I will in my maybe the next session I'll talk about how things usually flow. In a certain order, typically, like what I've seen. So I will talk about that as well. And then Robert, you were saying something. Can you repeat that? I've just lost it right now.
As part of the core values, you mentioned team interactions over process tools.
Yes.
But so in spite of these daily stand-up meetings and all, the user interaction during, let's say, the course of the day can still go on.
Yes, sir. You are free to, ping anybody on Slack, on Microsoft Teams, on any other channel technology that you're using. You can, send them a message. They'll respond back to you. If you guys need to hop on a call, you guys can hop on a call and then get some clarity or something. So, I mean, yeah, there are no bureaucracies. That's what I want to say, right? There are no red tapes, right? Yeah, you can get on with any team member at any time and then ask questions and whatnot, right? Okay. And of course, team members are even excited. Team members are even excited to, to hear from you and, to explain certain things to you and whatnot. Kofi, I saw Kofi on this call. Kofi, are you still on this call, or you've logged out?
No, I'm still here.
So Kofi, for instance, he started his project, last week Monday, right? I think last week Monday.
Yes. No,
yeah.
I think it was this week. It was just this Monday.
Well, just this Monday. Okay. Yeah.
Yes,
so Kofi started his project with a company this Monday, and then I asked him to go ahead and schedule meetings, like one-on-one meetings with individual team members that he's going to be working with, right? And then he went ahead, scheduled a meeting with the product manager, scheduled a meeting with the Scrum Master, scheduled a meeting with BAs, and who again, the QA manager and other people that you've already had one-on-one meetings with, right? So
yes.
You can schedule meetings anytime as long as their calendar is open. So I show him something, how you can get on Outlook. You look at their calendars, you see a spot, you block it, right? And then you let him know on the Slack or whatever that, hey, I'm blocking your calendar. I need to block calendar for maybe 15 or 30 minutes to get some clarity on something. And everybody's going to be okay with that, right? Typically, everybody's okay.
Yes.
All right, guys, it's already time. So I've already gone past 2 minutes and I need to go. So tomorrow, today is Friday. So Monday, but make sure that the assignments, you guys turn them in. All right, that's it. If there are no more questions.
Thank you.
All right.